All right, let's jump back to. You want to talk about Scream?
All right, we'll talk about Scream. Let's get rid of the money.
Well, you should keep the money because it made a huge amount of money. It actually made more than Scream 4.
Boom! Look,
right?
Graphics. No, that's not just
Ghostface.
Ghostface is back.
Yeah.
Scream. It did make a lot of money. People seem to really like that movie.
They did. What did you think? Well, we're gonna tack this on to our extended podcast that actually goes through all 4 of the Scream ones. But we're gonna take this 5 and we'll tack it on. We actually did a show with Brendan that's gonna be dropping, I think, Friday on your favorite pod platform. But
you need to subscribe. And remember, this is a spoiler.
Boom. Yeah, it's gonna.
So if you haven't seen the movie, just turn it off.
Yeah, and don't Google Scream in YouTube because holy shit, like the algorithm won't put us in the freaking wave, but it's putting people's cell phones of like Dewey dies, and it's just like it's right freaking there. So I went on Thursday night because I have a huge phobia of spoilers.
I got worked by YouTube because I thought it spoiled it for me because I've told you how YouTube is now just a complete spoiler because if you're watching like Scream 5 preview videos, once someone posts the end on that they filmed on their phone, it sends it right to your feed.
Oh, really?
You were curious what was going to happen? Here's what happens in the movie. Here's the ending. So I thought initially that it's because I guess it was just a clickbait kind of a thing, but it was trying to tell me Gale Weathers was going to be the twist killer.
Oh, really?
And I was like, oh, but that's a good idea.
Oh, sorry. Someone's at my door 30 miles north. Ignore that. Come on, pal. Turn off your phone. We talked about this too. There was another twist. And we're going to, again, we're still in spoiler territory, but everybody was saying that Stu was going to be the killer.
Because he was Stu was the original killer. Yeah. I guess remember we were talking with Brendan about the original Scream pitch and how Kevin Williamson turned in 3 ideas for 3 movies. It was a trilogy, planned trilogy.
Yes.
And in the third one, it was going to be Stu coming back, right?
And yeah, his death. I mean, they stuck to the rule that if you see it happen on TV, if you see it happen, whether it's on TV or screen, it did happen. But if you don't see the death, it didn't happen. We saw him die, but it was always very questionable. This was a CRT tube. It wasn't an LCD. It wasn't a flatty. Could you die with the TV falling on your face?
Those old TVs were heavy. Not today. Not today. Like you would damage one of the modern TVs with your face. Your face would through it.
Your face would damage the modern TV. So it was, and they said that he was still breathing. So we saw a lot of fake outs on YouTube. A lot of fake outs of basically saying Stu is behind it all. But spoiler, that didn't happen. Stu was not behind this.
So what did you think of the movie then?
I did like it. I think what they could have done is they probably could have skipped 3 and 4 and they could have made this the third one and jump forward. But they didn't. They opted not to do the Halloween route of saying nothing happened after Halloween 1 except this. They didn't do the alternate universe. 3 and 4 were still canon and then they went to this. I liked it, but I don't know how they can continue this series. I don't know how they can.
Well, I mean, it made a lot of money, so they're gonna
find out a way. Is the Scooby-Doo gimmick gonna get old? Like, are they gonna have to find a way to get out of that corner of 2 killers and it could be anybody? Are they gonna continue to do that?
I think something's got to change. Well, let me just say, first off, the movie itself didn't do a whole lot for me. I can't say it was fine, I guess. I have a lot of issues, and we'll go through it a little bit. But I didn't really get anything from it. It was just for me, it was another rehash, yada, 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 and it's over. And I don't know.
Yeah, by that. I'm a huge fan of, and now more than ever, this was my favorite part of the new film, was Mikey Madison, who played Amber, who, spoiler alert, she was one of the, waiting for it, but yeah, she was one of them.
Sorry.
We spent a lot of money on this stuff, so we got to use it. But she was awesome, and I just literally did the same thing that Brad Pitt did to her in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I remember your little white face. That's the first thing I did when I saw her. And did you notice tons of Easter eggs in here? But it was great. They had 2 Once Upon a Time in Hollywood Easter eggs.
I didn't get those. What were they?
She got set on fire, and that's how she died in Scream. She's the one that got blowtorched in the pool at Once Upon a Time in
No,
Hollywood.
I got that.
And then remember, she did the same thing when she jumped up with the knife and she went through the window in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She did the same thing in this. She freaking popped up with the knife again after she was set on fire.
So is this a 4th level meta kind of thing? Because, like, here's the thing. When she pops up as a suspect, she's obviously a suspect, and you're just like in your brain, wait, she was the one that was going to kill Sharon Tate, and she got torched by Leonardo DiCaprio. You know? How is she not the killer? That's what you need to prove to me now, movie. That's obviously the killer.
Yeah, she definitely had that. She has that very exotic look, and she has a special look that you knew that she's not a throwaway character. She's going to be in something. I remember your little white face. That was just great. So that was a little bit suspect. Did you suspect the other killer though?
Yeah, kinda.
You did?
I mean, yeah. I mean, who else was it gonna be? Like, I felt like those were clearly the 2 most obvious suspects. The only thing I didn't expect was that they'd be working together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was a little bit of a stretch, right? It's like, hey, we met online and we're both disgruntled fans of the Stab franchise, so we're gonna make. Like, they didn't like the way the sequels went, so they made a sequel IRL, and then they were going to do that. And they met, like, on a message board. So he went out of his way to go, like, hook up with Billy Loomis's mysterious unknown daughter. And then, like, I was like, I'm going to get this job in a bowling alley, and I'm going to bang Billy Loomis's daughter. And then they were going to so that was a little bit of, like, okay, now you're really going to having to put a lot of pieces together to keep that going.
What did you think of de-aged Skeet Ulrich visions as a plot device?
Did you expect them to turn Billy Loomis quasi babyface?
No, that came out of nowhere for me.
Yeah.
And I can't remember in what order it was in the movie, whether we saw him first or she explained it first. But
no, we saw him first before it was explained that she was the daughter.
Anyway, she goes into this really long 5-minute explanation of how they are, requeling the movie.
Yeah.
I'm Billy Loomis's daughter. And it's just like, when she's reading it the whole time, I'm just like, what? I mean, I get it, but it just seems like like the movie paused for 5 minutes to explain to you how the movie was going to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it didn't really, it wasn't like revealed to us organically. It was just like, hey audience, just so you know, here's what the movie is. I'm Billy Loomis's daughter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and that's why I don't know if they're going to be able to keep the Scooby-Doo gimmick going. Because if you did another one, how are you going to... You're going to have to keep getting into so much dialogue and so much exposition and explaining it that you're going to need a freaking, like you said in Matrix Resurrection, you're going to need a freaking highlighter and, to keep up. And that's not ever really good. Like, I like it, get into your gray matter. That's totally fine. But you can't, it felt like this was fine. I was okay with it. I didn't walk out disappointed, but I don't know how they can continue, but they're going to find a way because there's more. And we stayed for the live Q&A on the premiere, and Kevin Williamson says, like, I want way more screams. I want way more Scream.
I'll take those Scream checks.
So
why
they're
not?
getting them.
I don't even have to show up for work. Just send them.
Just get that mailbox money. But
like, here's the thing. Like, there was a lot that just kind of. I feel like this was another instance of a movie written by a computer program. I think they got these guys, the Radio Silence guys, to direct it and all that, and it was fine. They did fine with the kills and the horror and all that stuff. But like when what was it? Sheriff Judy?
yeah,
Sheriff Judy gets killed. I felt like the algorithm was just thinking, oh, you know what? Like people who like the original Scream, they all have kids in high school now. So I'm gonna do this angle where like someone from the old movies has a kid in high school and he's gonna get killed and he's the victim, and you know what I mean?
That was
and
a
they were
little
like
bit of it.
spinning that up for that particular portion of the audience.
Yeah, because she was a swerve, right? Because she was the swerve when she first appeared as well, that you thought she might be the killer.
Yeah.
So I thought there was a little bit of a swerve there.
And I don't think she was over enough to really matter that she got killed, right?
No, no. I mean, her son was part of the new Scooby Gang, was it? And they actually did, Wes Hicks. I guess he was the named after Wes Craven, but he got the naked shower scene, and they were gonna really, instead of having a girl in the shower, you had Wes Hicks in the shower, and they were gonna really start to play on that psycho vibe there.
I guess.
And
she,
then they both,
he was
yeah, and then,
bleach blonde, and short hair, and everything like that.
and then they both got whacked. So I mean, I wasn't too crazy about that.
I wasn't cool on the names of people. I have to soapbox this for a second, cut a promo on it. The two leads there, the two female leads are clearly Hispanic, and they're both named Carpenter. So I'm just like, okay, I get you're gonna reference John Carpenter. I get them. I get that.
Yeah.
But they're clearly Hispanic. Once you let them rep that, why can't they be Rodriguez or Del Toro or Alvarez or something like that? You know what I mean?
Right.
There's Mexican horror directors out there. Just Google it.
Yeah, no, it's very possible. Yeah, again, it's getting very meta. So how do you escape this? What was different, something a little bit different, was they had the same type of opening, and the final girl was actually the opening girl, and somehow the final girl survived all the way to the end, which is very rare for the opening sacrificial girl to become actually one of the final girls. And they did a Four Horsemen style, right? You had four survivors. Even though they were getting stabbed like crazy, everybody was getting stabbed and shot, and everybody still took one to the lung, but they were still all walking around.
They're doing the very intentional stabbings, just like
Oh
like
yeah,
they're like, aiming for a specific part of the body or something like that. You know what I mean?
yeah. I think we talked about this on the pod or last week's show. I guess what made it always work was it's very real feeling, because it's always so sloppy. I know it's like they are trying to hit in specific spots, but again, that's why it feels like Scooby Doo 2 is like, oh, I kind of stabbed you in the right spot, but I kind of missed, and now I tripped and fell down the stairs, and it's always like limbs going everywhere. So in a way that made it feel real, because we know those real fights don't look as cool as fake fights.
So what did you think about their reasoning for doing the kills?
I felt like it was a retread, because wasn't that the reason in 4? Like, they know one of their most powerful characters was Randy Meeks, and then they felt like we talked about that, kind of jumping the shark, killing him in 2, and then like we need more film nerds to come back, and now his nephew and niece are in that, and I feel like it felt like a retread. Like, I feel like was the reason in 4 she was doing it to become infamous, and these guys were doing it to become infamous while trying to redo their favorite film series and actually give it a good sequel.
Yeah, I think part 1 was revenge, part 2 was revenge,
Revenge! Now we're cooking, huh?
part 3 was, I don't know what part 3 was revenge.
Yep.
Part 4 was fame. She wanted fame. She wanted, basically, that was the one that had the social media angle. So it was like, I want to be famous on the internet, so I'm going to pretend all these people killed me. And then this one was like the toxic fandom, which to me, I got to be honest, that just felt like, that just is like, ha ha, the problem is you, audience. You're the reason movies suck.
Just have the freaking movie the whole time. Every once in a while, Nelson just pops on the screen. Ha ha!
It's because of you that movies suck, audience.
Yeah.
Ha ha. We'll take your money, though.
And they swear, and they talked about that in the Q&A, like, no, that wasn't by design, and we hope it didn't come off as mean-spirited just because there's a couple of toxic fans out there. That we don't mean that to be everybody. And it's not just... No, that wasn't... I'm not talking about you. It's somebody else you don't know.
Look, bro, don't blame us because your movies suck. That's
Yeah.
on you.
Yeah, so
I was not a fan of that particular twist. And again, it was the most obvious suspects, I felt like.
yeah, because You remember her little white face.
right.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. This was the only one that there wasn't family. I guess that was the closest you had to swerve, right? Because you had Billy, and I'm not going to talk about the accomplices, just the family connection. So you had Billy, then you had Billy's mom, then you had Sydney's half unknown brother, and then it was Sydney's niece, the one that was going for fame, right? It was,
Yeah.
And now this one was just two randos that liked the film series.
Has anybody ever considered maybe Sydney's the problem?
Brendan was talking about that. Have you watched, Murder, She Wrote? Everywhere you go, someone seems to die. Maybe you're the problem. Maybe you're the problem, Andrea Lansbury. R.I.P.
That's deep cut
Yeah, that's deep cut.
for most folks.
So yeah, in the end though, I was happy with it. I don't know if I necessarily want to see another one, but maybe here's the pitch: what does Scream 6 look like? Or just you're gonna have to me, my quick pitch is it is gonna have to be an encapsulated trilogy that has nothing to do with the Scooby Gang.
Number one, they made the second biggest mistake they've ever made in Scream in this movie is in that they killed Dewey.
Yeah.
Okay, now you've killed that's it. There's no one else to care. Didn't you get the feeling that what was it? What are their names? Courtney Arquette and Courtney Cox and Nev Campbell.
Nev Campbell, yep.
They just kind of strolled in for a cameo. They were just, remember at the end of the movie, they're just chilling on the back of the ambulance, just like, whatever, bring me my grilled cheese sandwich.
Yeah. No, I do agree with that. That was a stretch to get them there.
So, and then it's just like, well, if anybody's going to keep fighting the Scream, it's Dewey. So why do you kill him? Kill fucking Nev, kill the rest of them.
Yeah, I feel like they could have definitely flipped the script, and Courtney Cox could have been the one that took the blade.
I think Google had a better idea. It should have been Courtney Cox who was the actual killer at the end.
Right? Yeah, I guess that is possible. Again, it was just two unknowns. So, but
one more thing, I got to cut a promo on this. I think
do it.
Melissa Barrera is great in the movie, but she's too good in the she's like stunning to look at. She's way too attractive. No, there's nobody you wouldn't believe she was from Woodsboro at all, and she's just got a really serious face.
Yeah,
like her face. She's doing the horror as a shoot. She doesn't have. There's no sense of humor behind it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just thought that was kind of. It was. She's good in it, but I don't know that they utilized that correctly.
I'd like to meet her mom, Billy, who Billy hooked up with. Because did they at least go back and kind of retrocon an Easter egg that we saw the mom in Scream 1, or is it like a different school, different district?
Who knows? I don't even know. She probably went to the school. No, I'm guessing that if we get a part 2, she went to school with Sydney, and we'll get de-aged Sydney in classroom flashbacks where she's in the back of the room getting picked on or something.
I was happy with the de-aging of Billy, for sure.
It was kind of creepy.
It worked pretty well. I don't know. I really think the next one, I guess they're going to continue to go meta because that's the gimmick. Maybe it's a whole movie of just if you make this movie, I'm going to freaking kill you. Nobody wants to see it. And then every time somebody tries to write a new Scream sequel script, they get murdered. Because there's no, don't make this sequel.
No, here's my pitch. Something about the new Scream, yada, 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 and someone leaks the ending, so someone goes to kill a bunch of YouTubers.
That's why we wear masks.
That's right.
Yeah, we don't want the ghost face coming for us. But I think they need to do something like that. I think you're right. The nostalgic one, it feels like Dewey was the most organic connection to Randy Meeks to keep it. I know, we watched Sydney become the damsel in distress to the actual, of course, I'm Sydney Prescott. I got a gun. She can take care of herself. She would almost have to become the Obi-Wan and just distance herself from the whole Ghostface. She's never in danger, but maybe she's trying to help the people in danger.
That's fine. She can pull that off, but
yeah.
I think if I'm booking this, I think Courtney Cox is more disposable than David Arquette. So
100%.
She should have gotten her kill. I think I would rebook that. Let her kill it. And then Dewey forever is tortured because he couldn't protect her. Yada yada. Like something like that. Like it's
Oh
not.
yeah,
It's just. I think they really just. I think killing Dewey was a waste.
that was a big mistake. And it's because he was already. You saw he was tormented. He was tortured. He was forced to retire. He couldn't handle it in New York, so he ran there because he thought that maybe she was too much for him, and she could have proved her love for him by taking the blade for him. And like you said, and then that would have been
Yeah,
tormented.
that would have been good.
Because now you reversed it. Like, I'm supposed to protect you, and now you jumped in front of the bullet to protect me. And then she'd be like, I know you always thought you weren't good enough for me, but that's how I prove that you are good enough for me, that I'm willing to take a bullet from you. And then she died. She dies a hero.
That's why you shouldn't have algorithms write your movie.
Yes. Yes, especially you, YouTube algorithm. Don't make me cut a promo on you.